Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am updating you with my pan and every eyeshadow palette roulette project. What a mouthful. So yeah, basically I'm working on 5 palettes at any given time, and my overall aim is to eventually have one pan in every single eyeshadow palette that I own. It's sort of trying to help me rotate through my collection and just try things a little bit more, but I must admit I do play it safe with the eyeshadows that I use. Maybe I need to bring another element into this in a few months' time, I think, just to liven it up a bit. But for now, I am actually doing really well. So yeah, I have 5 eyeshadow palettes at a time I'm working on, and then I select one face palette, and I don't need to hit pan in that face palette, but I'm just pulling it in just so that I'm getting a bit of use with it and just sort of trying things. So I may actually do that one as a no pan left behind for the face palettes. New rule from January 24. So yeah, I have got 2 palettes which I have hit pan in, so that's really good. I've got one that I think I'm going to just roll out, and then I've got another 2 that I'm going to keep on working, and then obviously we're going to rotate the face palette out as well. I've updated my wheel of names, which is like the wheel that I use to select my palettes. So as before, I had a wheel with every single eyeshadow palette that I have on it. Now I've created a duplicate wheel, but on this wheel I only have the palettes which have got no pans in, so it's going to prevent us from getting re-rolls and things like that. And then as I hit pan, I take that out of this wheel, and whenever I get a new palette I add it in. So I hope that makes sense. So what we'll do first of all, we'll start off by reminding ourselves of the palettes that I have been working on. My last update was in November, so I've just checked back on my entries to make sure I know any new palettes that have come into my collection, so we're all good with that. So 5 eyeshadow palettes we have got. We have this little one from Estate, which is on Wednesdays. We've got the Bella Pierre Brown Eyed Girl, that's a little quad as well. Then we have this 1 Million palette from Revolution, which I've been working on for a little while. We have the Laura Geller Cinnamon and Spice palette. And I have got the Mercury Retrograde palette from Huda Beauty. So those are my eyeshadow palettes that we've got. And then the face palette I've been working on was the Revolution Iconic Lights and Contour Pro palette. Okay, so let's have a little chat, and should we start off with the ones that I've hit pan on? It's always the most exciting. So the first one that I hit pan on, I think it was just last week or so. It's taken me quite a while actually to hit pan on these, but I am so pleased to have finally hit pan on the 1 Million from Revolution. And here we go here. No surprise, it is in a sort of like a golden shimmer shade. So it's the tiniest pan, but quite a big dip. I really enjoyed using this colour actually. It was a much nicer palette than what I remembered. And that's the shade there. So it's very kind of me, isn't it? This is very sort of typical Marcia shade. So I'm just getting some micellar water so I can clean my swatches and fingers and things. So yeah, that was my first pan. Overall, the palette was quite nice, although I dipped into a couple of other shades, but honestly I just kind of focused on that, and once I knew I was getting near the bottom I just kind of really went for it. So really pleased to be rolling that out, and I've hit my goal, so at least it's had a little bit of use and a bit of love. This I only hit pan in it was yesterday, and it is Laura Geller Cinnamon and Spice. The shade I have hit pan in is called Salted Caramel. Yet again, surprise, surprise, the type of shade that I have hit pan in, but I've got so much use out of this. I don't know if you can see all the dips in these mattes, but I have used this palette an awful lot, and it is a really lovely palette. I've got it on my eyes today. My makeup is quite old now, but I found that I sort of set my whole lid with this shade. It was just a really nice shade, rather than, it wasn't too pale. Sometimes some of the paler shades to set your lids can look a little bit grey. This was a really nice shade. So this is what I've been using just to set my lids. And then this was pretty much my transition shade there, which is again a really nice shade for my skin tone. But the one I've hit pan on is as, oh God, I feel like I'm all over the place, I'm so sorry. I've got again a massive dip. I didn't think I was ever going to hit pan on this. I've worn this on my lid so long, but you can see like it's dipped over virtually the whole pan. Really lovely shade, quite sheer actually, so pretty, and you can build it up, but again, that's it there, a lovely shimmer. So I'm really pleased to have used that. I enjoyed this palette a lot, but I am glad it is rolling out, because I've literally just had the same eye look for the last couple of weeks, just trying to hit pan on that. So those two are rolling out. The Brown Eyed Girl palette, this is a little quad, and to be honest, I've hardly used it, but I have made a little bit of quite a dip actually on this. This is probably going to be what I'm going to be working on next to try and hit pan. I have used this a couple of times as a highlight shade, which is nice. This again is very much my comfort zone. It's another golden shade, so you can see that they are all a little bit different. But they are very much a variation on the theme. But the formula feels nice, so I'm going to just continue using that. Next palette I've hardly touched it if I'm honest, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, so I maybe need to try and make this a little focus palette for this week and see what my thoughts are on it. And it is the Estate palette on Wednesdays. I did declutter one of these little quads. I've got like a trio, like a little sort of 3 set of these quads. I decluttered one of them because I wasn't that keen on it. So this is how it looks like. So it should really be okay. And I have used it a little bit, but I maybe need to just try and use it a bit more. The one I'm most likely to be drawn to is this shimmer. I mean, they feel quite nice. And again, it swatches nicely. Very similar though to this, isn't it? But we'll see. The matte, let's try this matte here. This might be a nice one just to add in the crease. It's quite a nice shade actually. So yeah, we'll give that one a go. Let me just get rid of all these swatches. Now I do want to declutter a palette. Oh my gosh, what a mess I'm making of that. I am wanting to declutter one purely because I've kind of like, I've had enough of it really, and I just want to roll it back, you know, just roll it out and then put something in its place, just to sort of keep me rotating through my collection. It will stay on the wheel. If it does get selected again, I will keep it. I mean, I think that's fair enough. Yeah, and I'm going to just roll out the Mercury Retrograde palette. I'm almost at pan, and I reckon another week and I would definitely be there, but I'm just bored with it now. I've almost hit pan in the shade, where am I? Galaxy, sorry. This one here is virtually there. These are very soft, and I actually think I could probably cheat and push my brush down into that because they're so malleable, but I'm not. I'm trying to just use it normally, but they're super squishy, very soft. That's it. It's really pretty, but you do get a little bit of glitter fallout with them, to be honest, but it is a beautiful shade. But I'm just a bit bored. I'm hoping, I think, that I get something a little bit more interesting to work on. So yeah, I am rolling that one out. And then the face palette that I was working on, excuse me for turning my back to you. So the face palette I had was the Revolution Iconic Light and Contour. So I've actually used this quite a lot, not that you can tell, and I really don't mind it. I was using this as my bronzer, and I have actually got it on today, and it's a really nice shade for me. And then I have used this one a couple of times on my lids just to set my lids. And yeah, that's about it really, but I didn't mind it, and yeah, it was okay. The formula's still quite nice, so I'm going to hold on to that for now, but yeah, pop it back in my collection. So those 4 can go, and we are keeping these two. So before I do my roulette, let me just show you the two new palettes which came into my collection in December, both from Beauty Boxes. So I have got the Lottie London. It's a little quad and it's called the Rose Golds. I've only done a couple of swatches on that. So again, a very me sort of little quad palette. So if that gets picked out, I won't be mad about it, and it could potentially be a good little travel palette. So yeah, I'm excited to give that one a go. So I'll pop that into my collection there. And then I got this one, which is an eye candy palette called In the Nude. And this was like, it came in Discovered Beauty Box in December, and it came with a little set of 4 brushes and the palette. And again, looks a great everyday palette. Just sort of neutral, nothing spectacular, very sort of similar to all the things I've got, but it'd be nice just to try the formulas and things as well. So these two palettes have been added onto my wheel, and yeah, so I have got my wheel here. We have got 50 palettes without any pans in at all. Obviously I've got more palettes than that. So let's just turn the volume up. We never get the sound of it going round. So here goes. Let's click, click, click. Oh, we've got a bit of volume. See what my first palette is. We've got 3 palettes to pick out. So the first oh, you are joking. It's the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. I did say if it spun out, I'd keep it. Oh, I think it's just saying that I need to keep it and just hit pan in it. I'll keep it. It's a sign. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. What was the chances of that? 1 in 50. Okay, here we go. See what the second one is. That's made me laugh so much. Cargo Getaway 012. I have got a few, which is the Getaway, there we go. And then the last palette to come in for January is makes me nervous. Oh, Bourjois Smoky Eyes. I actually don't think, I think I'm going to re-roll purely because I'm going to show you this, and I know I can't hit pan in it. I've got it somewhere. Oh, it's actually down here. It's not even there. I sometimes use it to darken up my lower lash line. I don't want to do this one, so I'm going to re-roll. It's baked. I'm never going to hit pan on that, and I don't really want to, but I'm happy keeping it in my collection. So it's just a bit, I'm going to re-roll. I can do that because it is my, it's my project and I want to. And I did keep the Huda Beauty one in. Let's re-roll. I want something a bit more exciting. Come on, wheel, you can do it. Maybe I should pick one palette myself each month. That maybe be what I'll do from next month. Eye Candy in the Nude. Okay, so that's interesting. I've just shown you I had the oh, is that my new one, isn't it? That's the new palette. I don't believe it. It's the newest palette in, and it has been selected. Okay, let's have a look at these. So, as we know, it's just selected the Mercury Retrograde. So it looks like Fate wants me to do this. So I'm going to just continue working on that. And to be honest, I reckon if I sort of maybe work on this one first, I can probably hit pan on that within the week. And then it's done, isn't it? So yeah, I'm not mad. And maybe, actually what I'll do is, I wonder maybe just to try a no pan left behind instead. So I might try and see how many of these I can get through as well. I'll pop a little post-it in here and then I'll mark them off when I've used each shade. So yeah, I'm going to do that, I think. So I'll either hit pan or do no pan left behind, whichever comes first. And I think that's fair, and then I can put it back. All right, next one out was the Cargo palette in Getaway. Now, I actually don't mind the Cargo palettes. Some people don't like them at all, but I've never had a problem with them. This one, Okay. Oh, that's quite nice actually for this time of year. Do you know, I've still got the thing on the mirror. I've had this palette years. Let's do it. Oh, so satisfying. So I've got a nice clean mirror. So these, I've still got my little brush in here as well. That's interesting. So these, so it's a 12 pan palette. I have like hit pan in cargo palettes before, so I think the shadows are quite soft. There are definitely a few shades that I like in here, and it's a real nice mix of colours. So we've got some purple tones, like some cooler silvers and things, and then some sort of like browns and golds, and these work really well. And the cargo palettes are set up so you can use them as like little quads. So that would be a quad, that would be a quad, and then the middle one would be a quad. Or you can use them like top and bottom as duos, and they work together. So I think the way they have them set out is really, really good. Looking at this, to be honest, I feel I'm going to be drawn towards Traveller, which is this shade here. I think, oh, that feels quite nice. It's a bit of a taupey kind of shade, a little bit cooler to a lot of the other ones that I use. So that's quite nice. But also Flight on the top. Let's swatch that. That's quite, it's like a greeny grey, an interesting shade. So, and then there's a couple of nice purple ones. This one called Journey, which is here. Let's try that. So that's quite nice as well. That one seems a little bit powdery, but again, it might look a bit mucky on the eye, so might that. We'll have a little play about and see how we get on. But let me just show you here now so we can do a split screen next time for an update. There we are. I'm going to try and take photos. I'm rubbish at doing photos. And then we have got the Eye Candy palette in the nude, which I've just shown you as my new palette. I think this should probably be fairly easy to pan. Quite a lot of nice mattes on there. Maybe try and pan a matte. It's been a while since I've done that. But let's have a little look here. Lychee, which is this shade, looks nice. Well, that looks nice. Okay, and then that nude colour, it's like a pinky nude. That's a nice looking shade. That could be a really nice sort of transition. Yeah, I think this the formula feels quite creamy. The mattes feel quite buttery as well. So we shall see how that goes. But it looks quite a nice one, quite a like a goldeny vibe as well. You know, like orangey browns, and yeah, it looks nice. Fabulous. Right. So my eyeshadow palettes are all there. I have also I've selected my face palette that I want to use for January. I actually spotted it whilst I was doing my husband's just coming in the door, he's been out golfing, so I actually spotted it whilst I was doing my shop my stash, and it's a ginormous blusher palette, a 10 pound blusher palette from La Roque, and I'm just going to do this, I think, as a no pan left behind style. It's absolutely massive, but I just thought it looked quite fun. I've never used it, so yeah, it'd be really nice just to try all the different shades. It's just so big, isn't it, though? It's such bulky packaging. But that is my face palette for this one. Right then, so let's just remind ourselves of everything we've got. So we've got the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde, we've got the Cargo Cosmetics Getaway, the Eye Candy in the Nude. Carried over from last month, we've got the Bella Pierre Brown Eyed Girl, and the Estate on Wednesdays. So those are my eyeshadow palettes. Then adding in the La Roque blusher palette. Let me do a little thumbnail. Toilet's flushing. Perfect. Right, guys, so that is everything. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to film a video and we'll look at all of my palettes, so keep an eye out for that. We'll just go through every single palette, remind us of what I've got in. We'll count up how many pans I've got, work out the percentage, and then we can update every single month. Lovely. Right, take care, have a lovely weekend. I'll see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye for now.